Hi, everybody. Really happy that you're back. We are here. I am going to be the person that is interviewed by my good friend Kitty, and we're going to talk about Inner Dragon. I would give her a bio. She dislikes having bios to read off of because she knows me so well. She'd rather just speak from her heart about what's going on. So, Kitty, I'm going to give the floor to you, and let's have fun, girl.
All right. Well, that's what we know how to do together, that's for sure. First of all, I really would love to introduce my friend, Sandra Pelley. Um, I am responsible for one of her titles, so I'm going to have her list all her titles off. But the one I'm responsible for is Galactic Shaman. When we first met, we actually met in a different group, we were both students in that group, or learners or co-mentors, whatever. And we were very drawn together. And I got to meet this amazing woman. It's now been, do you realize it's 6 years now that I've had the privilege to watch my friend Sandra Pelley move from the very understanding of her journey that was a lot about her physical body, and I'm going to be asking her to talk about, and how she has arrived at this galactic shaman inner dragon mentor with these amazing tools that have stepped forward and that I myself continually am going back to take a look at it, and which isn't have been easy for me. As Sandra knows, I got into an interesting glitch with electronics. So anyway, so Sandra, kind of tell, can you give people a little bit, first of all, please tell them your titles that you've
For
all
sure.
taught us all to step into and own, and how they evolve. And that's such an important piece that you teach. This is an evolutionary. This is not, I slide into home and I've arrived. It's like I slide into home and I'm like, oh, I'm up to bat again. So you have definitely taught me that piece of that. So if you would please let us know a little bit about your journey and who you are. And
For sure, for sure. First of all, I just really want to point out to everybody how in alignment Kitty already is because Suzanne was talking about a ball and got the baseball theme there on that other setting. So I do recommend everybody go back and listen to all the different calls. Hi, everybody. I'm Sandra Pelley, the Sandini, the Inner Dragon Transformation Specialist, the Dragon Ally, and the Galactic Shaman. And yes, I was gifted the Galactic Shaman from Kitty, and I think that's one of the things that I really like to bring home to people. And that was one of the changing things that I noticed in my own life is I was hearing other people say something good about me. And I chose to start going, okay, well, if that's what somebody is saying, then that must be who I am, instead of denying it or pushing it aside. And I think that was the real one of the game changers for me was that, oh, Kitty's calling me the Galactic Shaman. If I'm the Galactic Shaman, not a galactic shaman, but if I'm the galactic shaman, that's the uniqueness of myself in there as well. And I'm going to step into that in a really magical way. And so many different things have happened. Like how when I like it's so I have so much to say and so little time to say it. So let me give key points. By choosing to be the galactic shaman, I am when I go into meditation and I'm doing it in a group setting and I'm channeling information, it doesn't become about just me. It doesn't become about just the group. It becomes about humanity. The meditation goes out in ripples into the galactic energy and further. And that's the potential that we're talking about, right? Um, I've kind of lost track about where I'm going, Kitty. So you want to pull me back a little bit?
I'll just pull you back in. Um, and that's really an important part, because as you become this leader in understanding our journey with a dragon that we all have and are all called to. I mean, I remember from Puff the Magic Dragon to Cecil the dragon to all of these inferences about dragons, fire breathing. Maybe as you're talking about yourself and telling us a little bit about this
Mhm.
journey, because my friends, if you don't know about her background of her journey, it started very physically. And I mean as physical as it can get to stop her.
Yeah.
She is also another portal baby, and she is the transformation portal baby, 8-8. She is Lionsgate. And so she is always opening gates. So if you can talk a little bit about how that evolution, because that is the part for me that you are a master at getting us to embrace the entire journey, the acceptance of that journey.
I love this and how I want to broach this subject, if you will, is for each of us to understand that we are likely at some point in our journey through this human existence, we are going through a dark night of the soul. For some people, it's one incident in their life. For others, it's a series of incidences. And for others, it's years, possibly decades. For myself, it was actually 16, 17 years of physical injuries. And it did literally start with an injury where um, I dislocated my pelvis. I dislocated my pelvis. I believe it was a quarter of a century, or next year it'll be a quarter of a century ago already. So I love that number of 25. That stepping into the energy of finding balance, finding transformation, as well as creating my own destiny. What unfolded with that was that I needed to look elsewhere. I needed to look at how do I get healthier because Western medicine was not helping. And so I needed to lean into other methods. And that's what really started the trajectory of myself of moving in a different direction. However, I got so immersed into proving that I was capable, that in proving myself capable, I continued to injure myself and injure myself and injure myself. Now, what I was proving I was capable of doing wasn't really in alignment with what my soul wanted me to be doing. And that was the big kicker. And that's why these accidents kept happening, was because I was being asked to stop and take a look at what really needed to happen. And so, in another moment, 16 years into this, I had another pelvic injury. So I dislocated my pelvis in 2000 or 2001. And in 2016, I broke my pelvis. I could go on to say it was a minor break, et cetera, et cetera. However, what it really came down to is I was being asked to stop and look at what on earth I was doing in my life and what spirit actually wanted me to do in life, that there was something bigger in alignment. And it was in that time frame of 2015, 16, and 17 that I started to recognize what I was doing to myself, that I didn't care about myself and I was taking the blame for everything. And in that moment of going, oh, wow, I could do something else, I had a very powerful person give me a soul reading. And I love soul readings. Um, and I grabbed a hold of that like it was the wind in my sails. And I took off with that in a way that she personally had never experienced anyone taking a hold of their soul reading like that in before. Like she's in, I'll be honest, she's in awe of where I am today because of how I took her soul reading and ran with it. And this is the theme that we've been talking about all along in here. It's that recognizing that when someone gives you something that's powerful that you can use, run with it, take it, go, be everything that you can be. So I learned to love myself, which is learning how to foster this incredible relationship with my inner child. And in doing that, I came to realize that, okay, I'm at a point now where I feel very comfortable with this inner child, with my little you. What's next? And it's in that what's next that I discovered upon sitting in my living room, listening to a YouTube channel, Frequency Music, and with my eyes closed, and I heard the word Dragon Ally. And I'm like, what? Like I was startled out of the listening and went back into it and I'm like, Dragon Ally, what's that about? And literally got the sense of all of these dragons all around me in my living room of all sizes, all energy. Just really, and you can even hear how my voice just changed there. Like I really, I felt so connected with these dragons and made the decision to explore what that meant. In that moment, they also said, "You are the dragon ally." Again, notice the, not a, right? So stepping in. Go ahead, Kitty.
So tell me about because that's what was so interesting to me, having done the work with you with the little you and looking at the
Mhm.
adult, and of course, as an astrologer, how that is part of our mapping. What is the dragon to you?
Mm.
What does that symbolize? Because as a dragon ally and all of the amazing tools you've put together, how did the dragon itself speak to you? Because I know I have a version of a dragon. What did it mean to you? Obviously, there's an archetype, there's the galactic piece of that.
Man, I wish I had keynotes from what actually unfolded.
You will someday, you will.
I will. I
Yeah.
will, yes. Uh, Basically I started to explore what did being the dragon ally mean. What unfolded was this deeper sense that if there's an inner child who is protecting me, there must be some part of myself that has actually been moving me forward in some manner because I've had wonderful things happen in my life. So what's leading that wonderful thing? And I have no idea how it came about, and I'll probably remember after this conversation. However, it came to me that there's an inner dragon, that there's this inner peace. So take a moment, everybody, to take a breath right now. Breathe like you normally breathe. Breathe as your little you, your inner child. And now breathe as your inner dragon. I love that. Write in the chat what that felt like for you. Kitty, what did that feel like for you?
Interesting. My own breath was the most shallow. The breath of the little child was kind of, there was an awe feeling, like I felt my chest, but the I'd be interested to watch the video because I had my eyes closed. I felt my shoulders arise, the dragon expand, and I felt a I'd call it an egg of energy all around me as the dragon.
Yeah, that inner dragon, and I do too, I do the same thing. I feel like my normal breath is my normal breath. My inner child, it's so funny because even as I'm asking you guys to do this, I've noticed that I start to get this vibration happening because my inner child is super stoked to be able to oh, I get to do something with you guys right now. And I feel this really jittery energy, and my inner child feels jittery excited. But my inner dragon, same as you, Kitty, it's this chest opening, shoulders back, it's fuller breath. And I love what you people are saying in the chat about how it feels. Like there's a definite difference in that the dragon breath is slower, it's more full, it's expanded, powerful, magical, like it belly breath, exactly. So you know that there are definitely parts in your life that this dragon breath is showing itself. It's showing itself when you're asked to breathe in meditation. It's showing itself when you're doing yoga poses. It's showing itself when you're asked to step into doing breath work of any kind. So obviously this inner dragon has been with us all along. Right. So then it was like, okay, well, if this inner dragon has been with us and me all along, how do I recognize it more? Or how do I understand this more? Well, you ask the question and it gets delivered, right? How it delivered itself to me was in an opportunity. I had just spent 6 weeks caregiving for my mom and her husband. And in the drive home, my vehicle broke down. And I am an avid mountain biker. I did not have my mountain bike with me. My vehicle broke down, engine blown, that I was stuck in a town for 3 nights and had to wait for my husband to come and
I,
get me.
I remember. Yeah.
Yes. And so while I'm there, I have everything that I had taken to my mom's and her husband because I was going for an extended length. I had actually 6 or 7 tarot and oracle decks of cards. And I said to this to the divine, if you will. What am I supposed to do here? And they're like, well, you have an opportunity. You're asking questions about inner dragon. And it was almost in that tone of voice. And so I sat down in my hotel room and I took it a step further. I recognized the potential here that if I have inner dragon breath, if I have inner child, then there's no point in me asking what inner dragon means for me. That ultimately I needed to ask, what does inner dragon mean for humanity? And what unfolded was a 7-part series that's actually available on my YouTube channel, Sandra Pelley the Sandini, under the Dragon Tales. It's a 7-part series that actually tells you what this inner dragon actually means for humanity and for myself, for each of you. And that's so magical now to have a deeper understanding. So this occurred through um, through basically October 23 through coming into June of 2024 is kind of where that unfolded. And since then, I have been stepping into really starting to understand this in a much bigger way. And that's where understanding that there's actually archetypes and chakra involvement in this. So I alluded to this before I started recording about that there's these quizzes, okay? Um, and what's unfolded is recognizing that there's these chakras. We all know that there's chakras. There's 7 main chakras, and they're all take part in this. And when we talk about the inner dragon archetype, there's the creator, the guardian, the healer, and then 4 others as well. And each of these, if we take each one of these into the chakra, they show us so much information. So this has now gone from I'm the dragon ally to holy cow, I'm getting so much information. Oh my gosh, what do I do with this, right? So let me take a breath, truly.
Well, and I'll fill in. I have done the quizzes, and it is amazing. Um, as a person that likes to go across many genres, um, from human design, how they fit. They certainly fit my astrological map. And they also introduce new understandings. I've always understood being a teacher, but not the healer. And when they came out pretty much even, they started being even in across a few other ways. And it's like, oh, what does that mean? So for me, the dragon work has been a lot even about the archetypes, the colors, the um, understanding much more deeply of why I pull my shoulders back and expand the energy I'm tapping into. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that as you go a little more about your quizzes and get your drink of water.
For sure.
Because the
So
heat she is emanating, I am feeling. So now I'm getting my water.
yeah, what's unfolded since then was this creation of what I called the boot camp. And it really came about because of my beautiful friend who has been such a huge part of helping me to implement some of these pieces, and that's Christina de Souza. The energy of really recognizing the potential there. And I was overwhelmed with this idea of how do I do this? Like I have hours and hours of work, and she laid it out in a way for me, and get to understand some things when you listen to her speak. But and not but and one of Kitty's things here. I, with her help, I was able to lay out a very quick 7-day thing where I stepped into, okay, I'm going to express what inner dragon archetype is and each of the chakras, and I'm going to do that over 7 days. And I've done that, okay? And so I then discovered that I actually had 49 stories within me because there's 7 inner dragon archetypes and there's also 7 chakras. And I was um, invited by Spirit to share stories that actually showed how the implementation of the inner dragon archetype in each chakra was something that was like you can actually take and do. So it's taking it that much further. Has this been released to the public? It is going to be released to the public very soon. There's again things that I have to do it. Having said that, I had to first of all go and edit 49 videos. Um, and again, there's another mountain. How do I climb that mountain? I get overwhelmed by the thought of this. It's learning to do one step at a time. And this is the thing that we've been talking about all along in this entire summit is really recognizing that we have a vision of where we're going. We have no idea how that's going to shift and change. However, if we take a small step, and that's all I did was I started with one video and edited that video. And even in my sitting with each of those videos and listening to them after the fact, I'm in awe of some of the things that have come up. Like Christina and I were having a conversation the other day, and you'll get to meet Christina in one of these other conversations today or in the replays about recognizing where I'm ready to let go of some of the big visions that I had, the big visions that were the things that drove me to understand my inner child, that to learn how to do light language, all of these bits and pieces. Like I am at a point now where I am so in tune with my inner child and my inner dragon and the listening and being in awareness. And it's because of each thing, me making the decision on August 4th, 2018, to care about myself. It was the listening and hearing the dragon ally and asking the question, like everything. It's just so powerful. I don't know if I answered your question there, though, Kitty.
Well, you did. I mean, because
Okay.
I'm laughing because part of the inner dragon work you showed me was that and but. That's
Yeah.
one of my things because I am a teacher. It's not but a healer. It was and a healer. And so the power of words, and I challenge everybody out there, this is a challenge I often give, replace the word but with and, because it allows you to see that there's a decision and an energy and a synergy that is the whole in everything you say. When you say but, you dismiss what you've just said. And it's a habit of speech. When you pay attention to it, you also, for me, looked at the healing aspect as well as the teaching aspect. And that was
So, no, 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 go finish that, but I want to say something before you ask me another question, please.
so that was part of that inner dragon, looking at how do you hold the duality. Right.
Mm,
Oh, I like that. When you say but fear steps in. You've dismissed something. Sometimes but is correct. Not very often though.
yeah. I also wanted to mention if you had noticed that I kept saying and the. It comes back to you claiming who you are.
Hmm.
A lot of people get very scared of the word the. Well, I can't say that I'm the this because there's so many of us. Like Kitty is the storyteller astrologer, period. And it doesn't matter that other people have astrology in their background or not. They are all each individuals. Kitty is such a unique person. I'm a unique person. So I claim I am the dragon ally because I can be the dragon ally from my very unique piece.
Wow. That's amazing because today one of the things I heard that was about that it is that um, only in the union of our two true differentiations can we all thrive. So the becomes very important, very, very important that we understand we are the, and that's how we thrive together. When we don't embrace our dragon, who we are, the part that makes us expand our wings or swim in the water, depending what kind of dragon you are. Maybe you can touch on that too, because I always
Mm,
thought dragons were lizards that blew fire and had wings. No, no, not so. So, you know, continue on a little bit too about what they're tools.
they are.
Help you organize that. Yeah.
Okay, and you asked me to do one thing, so let me express that before you jump into the next one. About the inner dragon and the possibility of what the inner dragon is. It's almost as though Okay, so I'm the galactic shaman. Thank you very much, Kitty. And when you step into the energy of what a shaman is, it's a way of life, okay? And also too, there are witches, there are druids, there are all different kinds of beings. And there are times when they have something that's called the familiar. And the familiar could be a crow or a raven or something like that. Inner dragon actually has a familiar as well. I know my inner dragon's familiar is actually an otter. It works very closely with that, but my inner dragon as well. And let's just do this for a moment. Everybody take a moment to breathe like you normally breathe. Yes, we're going to invite you in again, inner child. Breathe like your inner child. Breathe as your inner dragon. And welcome in or witness how your inner dragon is showing up. Where is it showing up? Two more things. What color is it? Whoa, I just got some more information drop in. Wild. Okay. And what element is it? So is it earth, wind, fire, or water? I know, eh? So I'll just tell you first of all, this is the magic of being in awareness and choosing to be open with expansion and no expectations and no limitations. So I asked in that moment to about the elements, and just before that I said, oh, something else just dropped in. I just had a realization of, okay, if we said if it felt like earth, well, is earth, what crystal is it? If it's water, what type of water is it? Is it flowing water? Is it a puddle? Is it a lake? Is it ice? Like boom, like I just, wow, I'm excited. So, in doing what you've just done, you are anchoring in and honoring and showing respect to a very ancient piece of yourself right now.
The interviewer's not supposed to cry.
Yeah. Write in the chat, if you will, about what's come up for you guys. If you feel like sharing about your inner dragon, if you don't, that's absolutely fine. It may be very personal to you right now. My inner dragon, when I tap into that, when like I connect with my inner dragon, or I choose to recognize it coming in. We took a moment to recognize it coming in that space, and mine literally comes from the ground up into my heart and flows out. Mine is very much a blue water dragon, and thus the otter that it is connected to, the familiar that it has, is makes entire sense. I know of a beautiful soul whose inner dragon doesn't even show up like a dragon. It actually shows up as a mermaid. Entirely different. Another beautiful soul recognized a raven energy, and that their inner dragon is connected with raven energy, right? What happened for you there, Kitty?
Mine always sits in the chest. I see it as blue-green, but interestingly enough, I heard red, so it's doing something right now. Um, and it shows up with wind always, and an
Mm,
eagle as
there you
like its
go.
companion always. And one of the things it brought to me was the memory of a mantra you taught me, which changed my life forever. My version of it is, I am the person my soul sees me as being. That was a very important mantra for me to know that in the confusion that lived in me, my soul saw who I am. And
Mm.
so here I go again. So that's what came up for me.
You know what? I just want to talk about that mantra because I there's a video actually, it might even be on my YouTube channel as well. I remember sitting in my travel trailer, and I had made a very difficult decision to not go and help my son with my granddaughter. They wanted me to come in and help babysit her. And if I had gone, it would have meant that I would have to put off my very first big launch. It was a 3-day event thing that I was doing. And in choosing to say, no, I have so much that I want to do with this, it showed spirit, first of all, that I wanted really to go in a very specific direction in my spiritual journey. It also, too, provided my son with an opportunity to look at other options, which worked out beautifully for him in the long run as well. So do know that just because I said no didn't mean that I did something wrong with my son. What I, as I was sitting there, I was sitting on my couch. My husband was away 1,000 kilometers, 800 miles away, and I was just tapping into the energy of things. And what came through was this: I am the value my soul sees me as being. And it was like a holy wow moment. So that's the original. And yes, Kitty adapted it for herself. And that's the power. That's the power you guys are being asked to do, is if you find a mantra, you can adapt it. Create your power. Thank you for bringing
Well,
that up.
and for me, as I was a former teacher of the blind, vision has always been the vision, is always been the hero of your own story, has been so that's why that's how it morphed. And again, it was kind of a precursor to understanding my own dragon. And that's I think why it's where I also see my soul is where the dragon comes from for me. So.
Yeah, thank you.
So very, very interesting work this is because there's so many things, the fact that you have 49 archetypes and we're all part of those
7 archetypes, 7 chakras,
seven archetypes,
49
seven chakras,
stories.
49. That's the
Yeah.
49. Seven times seven. There's the elementary school teacher. Just and seven being such an amazing number recently coming through for many people. So what's next?
Yeah, so and 49 is too, because that's foundational, end of a cycle, and comes together as leaven and self-identity. And that's what
Well,
the inner dragon has 4 aspects to it: the emotional, physical, spiritual, and self-identity. And that's why all these quizzes also came up. So I do have a gift for everybody. And that's that one that's in the gift giveaway. And put it into the chat again in case you missed it. This quiz is the one that helps you to find out which archetype in the and which chakra is the one that's going to move you forward. So when you're doing these questions, you're kind of shifting into not who have you been, but where do you want to go? How do you want to feel? What do you want to move into? So and again, I also found it fascinating when I was editing the boot camp, the 49 videos, that at that time this quiz had not been created. Okay. I had only the previous quiz. And again, I'll mention that the previous quiz, it is the inner dragon, discover your inner dragon archetype, and it leads you into discovering what your chakra dragonfly is as well. And that's the color. That was who you have been. When we did the boot camp and I edited the videos, I recognized the power that every one of these archetypes, the 7 archetypes in every chakra, every one of these stories is important to you, whether you're moving forward or whether you're understanding where you are. It was so powerful. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, very cool. Seated in my head, meant to discover how other people. Well, and uh, it's so interesting to me, Sandra, because I spent all morning on the 49th gene key. Can't make this stuff up, folks. And the 49th gene key is all about exactly what the dragon teaches us. It is, even going to get my little notes out. It's about digging into what is needs and moving it to that realm of magical, that whole idea of when I understand who I am, then I can participate in a greater understanding of the overall transcendence of human DNA. That is what the 49th gene key is all about. It's the sort shifter, it's the coming into balance with frequencies, self-forgiveness, and a rising in the understanding of the rebirth of who we are as human beings. So, hey, it's 49 also.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Wow. Uh, do you have any last questions that you want to ask me while you have me here, Kitty?
no, I have no idea how long we even have.
No, this was good. This was good. I think we dove in, like I said, you and I never know where we're going to go, but it's always on an incredible journey. And I cherish when our roles are like this. It's very, very powerful. So thank you so much for helping me with this. The Inner Dragon, uh, it's the Inner Dragon Quest is what this quiz is all about. It's really stepping into where do you want to go, and how the Inner Dragon can help you. Go ahead.
That's the last question. Where do you want to go and how can the inner dragon help you, Sandra?
Yeah, yeah. For myself, it's really recognizing that this inner dragon has the potential to be like human design, that it has a far-reaching, like the astrological aspects, that if you know all your signs, if you know the stars and constellations like Kitty does, this potentially, I don't even know where I want to go. However, I know that this is legacy work that's being created, that this isn't for Sandra Pelley. This is for humanity. And that's the power of where this is going with this inner dragon. And the more people that understand that they've had their inner dragon in their life their entire life, and that they can start to recognize those moments, those silver linings, that they can recognize how it's been helping them to take action, and that they can now step into it in a very specific manner that will move them forward even in a more powerful manner. It's limitless. It's truly limitless. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And for future, thank you. Thank you for developing this. And there's so many things that are evolving. Um, and this work will be important, especially as we look at AI becoming more conscious, us understanding who our architects are and how that is part of our DNA development is very important as we influence that. So,
Yeah. I want to say one more thing. I have known for a very long time that I wanted to do an inner child, a little you oracle deck, right? There's been a hold on that, and I had no idea why I was never able to step into getting that created. Recently, I really stepped into the energy of it in a far more specific manner. And right now, this my very first deck is almost ready to start to get to the point of being at a publisher's. What's unfolded is that there is a sprinkling of dragon through it. And that's why this deck has been on hold, is because it was waiting for this piece to come into it. So know that there are likely at least 9 decks. One is the inner child, and then there's going to be the 8 that are the inner dragon archetype. So the first one will be the inner dragon and all its archetypes, and then it'll be like the breaking down of each inner dragon archetype will have its own oracle deck as well. Very, very powerful tool. I'm very excited.
very powerful,
Yeah.
very, very powerful. Because at any moment we need insights, and that's what uh, decks provide. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you again, Kitty.
You're welcome. This was fun. Had no idea. Folks, we did not have a conversation other than, do you want to show up and ask me questions? Okay, that's how we work. So,
Yeah. And Kitty will be part of I'm guessing, she has been in the past. She'll be part of the upcoming All About Woo Summit in August as well. Yeah.
yes, I will be.